Back again with my new technique to have a look at these pictures. Yes, these pictures. And at the bottom I'm showing you how I'm doing it. That's all I do. No super duper thing. I mean, if I can do this, imagine what they can do. I'm trying to match in Chris Watts. I have to make the heads, otherwise it's just not going to work, is it? You know, I've got to match in that's the top of his head, nose, chin, or the ears, or the eyes, to try and get it to see if it fits. And it sort of fits, but it doesn't, because the only way I can make it is if I have that ear covered but the other one isn't. See? On the left there's a section of his head out, and even on the right, and the eyes don't match up. But I mean, you can see I've matched it up. Look, see this, that's wrong. And this is what I'm finding through all the pictures, but we knew that we would. And I actually think that some of the pictures of him are flipped anyway, so you'll never know which way around the picture is. But anyway, you can see that that picture, they don't match. So they don't match, they're not the same heads. So that puts that into, they're not the same heads. I repeat, they are not the same heads. It's a bit like he's got enough room in there to, look at it, you can see, there you go. Anyway, masses of room. So this is a version of him. I have to make his head the right size. And in a sense I got it there, but if you look, you can see by the lines that I haven't, that his head, even though I match more of his face up, the head is still not right. So I think, got to amend that then. I've got to then change the head. And when I change the head to fit it in with the one behind, the eyes don't match up. One of those eyes definitely, they just match up, but he's not matching up. So I think, is it, then I've got the same problem again. Which side of him do I go to? Which bit do I go from then? So this is how I do it, just so it's fading. And I just can't do it. No matter how many times I try to do it, it just doesn't work. But look, it works on that one. But do you see what the problem is? Look, there's a great bit of head sticking out the top. His head behind doesn't match. And it's not quite right, but I could match his face in. Because look, there's ear and, yeah, it just... If you start the same thing, if you start trying to level up the ear to the ear or whatever, you find that you can't, it just doesn't, it doesn't match in. So I try and make him a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's got the eyes back, but no, the ears don't match up. Or the head bit on top's too big. You see what I mean? And you can also see the head, his head sticking out here. You can see that bit of head sticking out. So I can't match that picture in, so I go and get another picture just to see, because at that point really everybody would have to have done this, wouldn't they? That photograph. Right, so we'll try the one on the right. I know it's a bit small, but I told you I've got to blow it up quite a lot. And it just does that, unfortunately. But, it sort of matches, but it doesn't. The noses are different. You'll see in a minute. They've got different noses. I just... Whatever it is. Computer. I mean, I don't think that's the same person, personally. There's only a few months between them. The man underneath looks like his father. Anyway, when I put the photograph back on and just tweak it around a bit, you'll see that now if I start placing it in certain parts to fit it in, it fits in better than if I try and fit it up as a whole. Once you start with that ear or that ear, then you can match it in. So we've got to make his head about the same size. See, they've got, I don't know, the different nose, it's not, just doesn't match in. I spent just as long on this as I did on the Hillary one. But the Hillary one, you can see before you even get there that their noses and mouth, you can just see it. Your eyes see what they want you to see, you know. Don't shoot the messenger. This is not my fault. Most people knew there's something wrong with the pictures. But he looks more like the one on the left. Except, of course, yet again, we've got the same problem with the head. His hind is too big. But he looks more like that one. Yeah. Would you believe that? Except, of course, there's a problem with the head. You know, the size of the head. But he looks more like that one than the one on the right. That picture. And like I say, you just don't know how many of these are flipped. And then trying to get that back on there, like... he doesn't fit in the same. You can see. He doesn't fit in the same. He fits in better on the other one. Would you believe? The one that we all thought was fake. It is, because his head's too big. There's another picture, see? It fits on that face, but like the head's too big, as you can see. The head's too big. I couldn't match this one in. You know, there was always a part of his head. I don't know, it just matches it in when it does. When it's right, it's right. Don't know what everybody thinks to that one. I know it's a slightly different pose, but I was struggling to match him in. Because there's always a bit of their face, you know, extra bit of their head. But I still think he matched in better with the one on the left. Do you see the problem that I'm having? See? And you try to match the pictures in. So I'm slightly out there. If you match the eyes in, yeah. There's always a section of the head not right. You know, the head of the pictures coming in isn't as big as the head of the person behind, even if you match the features in. You can match the features in, but not the head in. Anyway, we're coming to the end of the video. See? When you match his features in, you can't match the head in. This is the problem I'm finding. Anyway, thanks for watching. What do you think?